vice president sweepstakes for Donald Trump is ongoing. Here, you can put up this picture. We have the Senator Rubio, Senator Vance. What's that?
The Fox News player won't let you see it, so
it'll
be blurry. But
it's
you can see.
Rubio, Vance, Burgum, Tim Scott, Ben Carson. I didn't even know he was still around. Representative Stefanik, Representative Donalds, and Tom Cotton. I honestly think it's got to be J.D. Vance.
Yeah, I mean, Rubio, I do not think is being seriously considered. I think that he wanted a...
Tim Scott's not being, and neither is Ben Carson.
Right.
Neither is Donalds, and...
Tim Scott's maybe potentially because he's been such a sycophant and he's been actually involved, but I do think it's still just for cynical purposes. He wants a rich guy that can help him with, I think, some of his legal issues. And Vance and Burgum have a lot of money. Cotton's too much of a fascist. Stefanik is not a 10. And she's also from New York State, so I don't know why he would do that.
No, the reason why I think it's going to be Vance is because that is a conduit to Wall Street money.
Yeah. Peter
And
Thiel.
it is the closest sort of connection you can get to like sort of the establishment of the Republican Party and the big money. And it's a guy and
Ohio too, right? That's a state that matters a bit more.
Yeah, and certainly that region anyways. I mean, theoretically, maybe has some influence over Michigan. I doubt it, but, that's part of the thinking. But there's nobody else there. There's nobody there from a state that is like, a purple state, right? I mean, so it's not like that. And there's very little evidence that a VP pick can win a specific state for you, regardless of where they're from. But this is interesting. Here is J.D. Vance explaining what's on. What happens when you get vetted, and some interesting questions because I was under the impression that some recent events for Donald Trump actually help him.
You look at Doug, you look at Marco Rubio, you look at Tim Scott. These are all like fundamentally good and decent people, and I think all of them would make a fine vice president.
Go ahead, Steve. I was just going to say we've heard that some of them have been asked to submit documents to be vetted. You're not at that level yet.
Well, so look, they've asked us for a number of things. I think that a number of people have been asked to submit this and that.
Like your taxes or something?
I don't know everything they've been asked. But yeah, I mean, certainly have you committed a crime? Have you ever lied about this? Certainly you have those conversations, but I think a lot of people were having those conversations. Do you feel like you're
all right, so there you go. I mean, have you lied about this? Like, for instance, have you lied on your business recordings of what your expenditures have been?
Right.
Or have you committed a crime and been convicted of it?
I mean, why is Dinesh D'Souza not under consideration if we're going for the felon ticket?
I was going to say, it's the thing is are they vetting it to make sure that you have one? I want someone with two felony convictions. I want 68 indictments.
Can someone be in the process of potentially getting convicted of a felony? Is George Santos open to potentially joining the ticket? I don't know.
All right. Any misdemeanors?
Any.
Also, spare me, J.D. Vance, with that he's going to wait for it to come to him. Why is he in New York City on Fox and Friends right now as they're talking about the VP pick on the Chiron below?
Well, that's what's funny about that answer is he's like, oh, yeah, I'm sure a lot of people are he's trying to downplay it while also put his hand in the ring at the exact same time.
I think he also knows that they're all... Trump is all their daddy, and they're also afraid of they don't want to piss off daddy, but they also don't want to feel like they're not being deferential enough to him. So you got to sort of everybody's got their angle about how much they're going to suck up to him, but they also all know that there's a line where you're sucking up too much, and he just starts to feel annoyed with you, he got so dismissive of Chris Christie. It's that type of thing that's going on. Where is Chris Christie these days?
Good question. He's probably, I don't know, doing some media training for an MSNBC gig down the line. A Republican who hates Trump. We don't have enough of those on TV, apparently.
Hey, folks, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and check out our daily show. We do it every day at 12 p.m. Eastern for about 2.5 hours. We even take phone calls. You should check that out.